Again, we're talking about percent, part, and whole, and how we can use two of these to find a missing value. So on this one, we're going to talk about finding the part. So if we are given the percent and we're given the whole, how can we use that information to find the part? So I'm going to scroll down here, and in the middle of your foldable notes page, you should have a section that looks a lot like this, and it says finding the part when given the percent and the whole. And so what I'm going to do real quick is just put in this process, and all you're going to do if you're given the percent and the whole and you need to find the part, all you need to do process is to multiply the decimal value of the percent. So you're going to turn the percent into a decimal, and we're going to say move the decimal point 2 places to the left. So we're going to multiply the decimal value of the percent by the whole value. By whole value means the bottom. So when I have this right over here, you can have that down, but this is all you'll need to do. Multiply the decimal value of the percent, which means you're going to move the decimal point 2 places to the left, by the whole value. Quick example of that. Remember, we always start with our percent over 100 equals part whole. And our example is going to be, okay, what if we have a percent this time? So what if we say, okay, 15% is our percent, and we always put it over 100. 15% of the number, let's go with 40, equals what? Question mark right over there. So we're going to try to solve for the part, this thing right here. And so how do we do that? Right here. We multiply the decimal value of the percent by the whole number. Well, 15% is like this. The decimal is essentially, let me get it in purple, right there. So to turn a percent into a decimal, we're going to move the decimal point 2 places and turn this into 0.15. So I'm going to write it out on the side over here, 0.15. And we're going to multiply this by 40. Now, if you are not familiar, this is pretty much straight ahead multiplication with one little catch. Because we have a decimal, if you're not familiar with this, we want to move the decimal to the end, however many places we have to. So you'll see I went 1, 2, and I always mark down how many places I went because we're going to need to move it back at the end. So I move my decimal over here, and now I'm just going to multiply this thing out, and I'm going to say, okay, 0 times 5 is 0 right there. 0 times 1 is 0. So don't forget to put your placeholder 0 right over there. And then we're going to do the 4. 4 times 5 is 20, so I'll put a 0. Carry the 2. And 4 times 1 is 4. Plus 2 should give me 6. So I'm going to add this up. 0, 0, 6. And my very last thing is I have to remember I have this 2 decimal point places. I'm going to move my decimal, which is here, back those 2 places, 1, 2, to make sure it's in the right spot. So the answer should be 6.0 or 6. 6 is 15% of the number 40. Let's try a word problem real quick and see how we do. So right over here you have this too. You can work along with me. Marcus had 24 cookies. He ate 25% of the cookies for snack in the afternoon. How many cookies did Marcus eat? Okay. Marcus was a bit hungry here. Well, a little bit. We'll see how hungry he was. So again, we always start with our percent over 100 equals the part and then the whole. And let's fill in the information we have. So we have the percent and we have had 24 cookies. We have a total. So I'm going to put the whole as 24. We don't have the part. We know he had 25% as the percent. That's always over 100. And so our process that we know from our notes right there is we're going to turn 25% into a decimal by moving it back 2 places. So it's 0.25, or 25 hundredths, times 24, the whole. So we're just going to multiply this out, and this should get us our answer. So let's do it real quick. 4 times 5 at the top is, well, before I do that, sorry, I almost forgot decimal point. Let's move it over 2 places, 1, 2, because we always want to move it to the end. So it's just 2 places in this case. If it was 3 digits there and we had to move it over 3 places, I'd put a 3 there. But just 2, because it's 2 digits there. So again, multiplication. 4 times 5 is 20. I put a 0, carry the 2. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10. I'm going to try to line this up. I'm done with the 4, so put my little placeholder here. 2 times 5 on the other side is 10, so I'm going to put that, and now I'm going to carry a 1, which I want to erase that. Go back, put a 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So I'm going to add this up just like this. And I'm going to get 0, 0, 6 right here. And then check it out. Got my decimal point at the end. How many places do I need to move it back? I need to move it back 2 places. 1, 2. Oh, we're going to get pretty much the same answer we got for our other example, which is 6, or 6.0. So Marcus ate 6 cookies if he ate 25% of the 24. So this is how we can use the whole and the percent to find the part of a value.